Alright, so this video is because I've literally just watched a movie that I used to watch when I was a kid. I watched it 1,000 times on VHS, and I spotted it in a charity shop on DVD. No Retreat, No Surrender. It's one of Van Damme's first movies. I think it's like his first proper full-on movie. And it's a good movie. It's about a young lad who's just moved to a new sort of town, and he's kind of like, it's very Karate Kiddish. He's trying to sort of fit in, only some sort of bullies are in the karate dojo. They kind of beat him up a little bit. He ends up asking Bruce at Bruce Lee's graveside if Bruce Lee can help him, and then Bruce Lee's ghost turns up and trains him in martial arts. And the Van Damme character comes into it right at the beginning of the movie, and right at the end, he's the guy who sort of fights at the end. So it's just a generic martial art action movie. However, I started watching this because I wanted to watch it with my son because it's a film I loved as a kid. So I thought, oh, you might like to watch. So I started watching it. And a few minutes into it, I was like, this doesn't feel right. And I'm watching this film, and the more I'm watching it, I'm thinking, this isn't right. Like, the music didn't sound the way I remembered it. Like, because I'd watched this film so many times as a kid, as you know, when you watch a film over and over and over again as a kid, it kind of gets ingrained in you, and you remember the musical beats as well as the action, the dialogue, and all that stuff like that. And it wasn't syncing up for me. I was like, this isn't right. And then there was a couple of scenes, and I was like, I don't remember any of this in the original movie. Like, a lot to do with Jason and his dad and stuff, and the issues they were kind of having. Then, like, we get to sort of the montage bit, and it's different. Like, the song, you get the song I grew up listening to was like, Stand on Your Own, There's No Retreat, There's No Surrender. But the song that played on this was a completely different song as he's doing the whole training montage bit. I was like, this is really weird. And also there's like a dance scene halfway through in a club, and all the music was different in that as well. And I was like, what is going on with this film? It's doing my head in. It was almost to the point where it was like frustrating because it wasn't the film I remembered. I mean, obviously a lot of the scenes are the same, but it still wasn't right. All the music seemed like louder than the dialogue in some scenes. It was really weird. And then there's like, now I remember it, Jason meets Kelly and takes to a pet shop, and they see a rabbit in a pet shop. That scene is gone. We just suddenly meet Kelly, their love interest, but there's no like, how did Jason meet her? He suddenly like goes to a party and she's there, and they've like had this relationship before he gets to the party, but we don't see that relationship. But I remember in my version, we saw them build the relationship and how they met and all this stuff. So I was like, this is really weird. And then when it gets to the end of the film, and the final fight scene where Van Damme fights Jason, it's really weird because it's cut differently. So in the version I remember, it's just Jason fights Van Damme. It's a really good fight with a really good musical soundtrack in the back of it that really sort of builds you up. There's like, it's like boom moments when Van Damme's about to win, and it's really good. This had a generic sort of, it's almost like stock footage music. Like, so it's just like I don't know what they call it, that generic music, sort of like no one owns the rights to, that sort of music that played over it. And then they intercutted scenes from the Bruce Lee training scenes into the actual end fight, which kind of like takes away from the fight. And I was like, what is going on? So I kind of like, when the film finished, I said to my son, that's not the one I remember. So I went onto YouTube. I was trying to find if it was different. And I watched about 5 or 6 different videos, all the same as this. And I was like, this is really weird. And then as I scrolled down through YouTube, I suddenly come across this video. I'm going to try and put the picture up just here of the video. And it's got my version, and there's a little description bit in the video, and it says that apparently the UK VHS was different to the American one, and all the DVD since have had the American version. But he said on the thing that I think this version is better, like the UK version. How mad is that? That we got a completely different cut of the movie with a whole different soundtrack, like completely different soundtrack, and it's better. And the song makes more sense. It's the songs No Retreat, No Surrender. So you get, and has this happened before? Like, I mean, I know that when I watched, there's a film called Silver Dream Racer that's an old 80s movie about motorbike racing. And I know that the ending got changed for America because when they sent the movie from, it's an English film, so when they sent the movie from England to America, they didn't like the ending because the ending ends with the guy in the motorbike dying at the end. And apparently the Americans didn't like that bad ending. So what they did is they recut the end of the film so it ends before he dies. It's weird. If you've seen Silver Dream Racer, you'll understand. I did do a Mandela Effect video on this years ago. But if you look into it, yeah, there is an original ending of Silver Dream Racer where he actually dies at the end of the race. But in the version Americans saw, he doesn't die. He wins the race before, and he dies after he wins. It's weird. But I was like, has this ever happened before? Is there any other films that you guys know of where this has happened. If you could put it in the messages and all that, that'd be in the comment section, that'd be brilliant, because I kind of want to know if this has happened in other films. I know that there's like extended cuts of movies now, but to have a completely different soundtrack and completely different cut-ins to certain parts of the film, the whole way of different scenes, is mental. It's not even like a director's cut, but apparently this is the version they've got in America. This is the American version of it. It's only on all the DVDs got the American version. But us in England, apparently some other regions as well, got this other cut, which is the cut I grew up with. How mad. Anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know if you've experienced this as well. If you're from England, do you remember this? Let me know, guys. See you later. Bye.